Hello and welcome to this Formlabs webinar. This is a shortened version of the original broadcast. If you'd like to view the content in full, please click on the link below.
Hello, everyone. On our agenda today, we'll discuss the BioMed Durable Resin and provide some in-depth information about how it's being used, what the biocompatibility certifications and such are. And then we'll ask our guest speaker to give you some information about his company and his experience using BioMed Durable as a beta tester. With that said, I would like to introduce myself. My name is John Anderson. I'm the medical marketing manager here at Formlabs. Joining me are Ricky Solorzano, our healthcare product manager for Formlabs, and Mauricio Toro, the founder and CEO of TECHFIT Digital Surgery. So Ricky, would you like to introduce yourself and start us off?
Sure. Thanks, John. Yeah, my name is Ricky. I'm one of the product managers here. I've been specifically working on BioMed Durable Resin, and very excited to be presenting it to you today from a Formlabs perspective, but then even more excited to have Mauricio present his story, as well as how he envisions using BioMed Durable within his workflow and how he can take advantage of some of the unique properties that it has. So to start off, why did we think about developing this resin? And so we have heard, we've developed this BioMed family. It's been love endeared by many in the healthcare community around the world for the biocompatibility, for the unique ability to be able to 3D print with these resins. But some of the drawbacks that we've heard is it may not be resistant enough, impact resistant enough in certain applications. And so, you know, I think a lot of times we hear SLA has great material finish, great design parameters, great detail, but sometimes is just a little on the brittle side. And so we went in and developed this resin for that purpose, so that we could begin to have materials that are both biocompatible as well as very tough. And so that's why we're so excited about this specific resin. So overall, this resin comes with some biocompatibility aspects. We'll dive a little bit deeper later in, but just to name a few: USP Class 6, has long-term skin contact, but more importantly, has short-term tissue, bone, and dentin contact. And some of the applications that we think it's ideal for is patient-specific instruments, single-use instruments, and you know, one of the reasons why we have Mauricio here as well. So the product is available worldwide. It's available globally. It has 429 US price point, and I think it's slightly higher than some of our other resins, but nonetheless, it really has a 3x more impact resistant value. So why develop with it? I think if you're thinking about applications that need something that are more tough, and yes, you know, single-use instruments, patient-specific instruments, but also you can be a biomed company thinking about, you know, certain casings or certain components that need a higher toughness, higher impact resistance, while still having biocompatibility. This is a material that could potentially work out well for that. And just to give a comparison, so the notch IZAD is 98 joules per millimeter. BioMed Clear, which is, you know, I say one of our most popular resins, comes in at around 30. I think it's 32, around that range. So you can see it's almost 3x the notched IZAD score of its comparable. So apart from its great material properties, we've also been working on a host of different biocompatible and quality control documentation. And so it will have well, it currently has biocompatibility certifications. It will also have, we're going to be releasing in about maybe a month time or so, sterilization documentation. So that's coming online. It's going to also in the future have FDA master file. And these are all things that we know that your regulatory teams really take a look into and really value it. This is also ISO 13485. It's produced in an ISO 13485 manufacturing facility, QMS controlled. So, and that's all important when we're thinking about medical devices, both within the surgery room, but as well as in general. And last, we've heard a lot that, you know, when you receive a part and you hold it, it's just beautiful. It has a very smooth surface finish. It looks like an end-use part. You can't really see layer lines. You can show it off, and that's really for any end user a really great just aesthetic aspect apart from the biocompatibility and great material properties. So I think, you know, some of the best applications that we think that it's going to be for is patient-specific instruments. So there is a lot of excitement that we have around that. So being able to do things like surgical guides, being able to cutting guides that need really that robustness, also that quick turnaround, but that accuracy. So this is a great area for that. And the second area is also single-use instruments. So a surgery-specific cases where, you know, instead of having a whole host of tools, maybe you want a certain set of tools for that, that still require that kind of material performance that's needed. This resin also has the potential for it. So very excited about that. I think the last thing I'd really enjoy this graph, particularly on the biocompatibility side. It gives the perception of where BioMed Durable fits within the family, and also, you know, specifically what it has. And so you can see very clearly it has skin, long-term skin, has short-term mucosal membrane, has the bone indent in contact, has USP class 6, and on its way, we do believe everything should be good there. It's long-term mucosal membrane, and we will have that sterilization documentation as well that's coming out later this year. So overall, we're very excited about this material. We've gotten a lot of great feedback, and we are excited for you to try it out. But I think what's part of this story here is hearing it directly from our users. And so that's why I can't be more excited to have Mauricio here. John, I don't know if you have a few words to say about Mauricio.
Yeah, no, we are super excited to have you, Mauricio. I know that you've taken a look at BioMed Durable as a beta tester, and I don't think I'll do a better job introducing you than you will yourself. So take it away. Tell us about your company and what's going on.
Thank you very much, John. Thank you very much, Ricky. Okay, this is full screen now. So I'm Mauricio Toro. I'm the CEO and co-founder of TECHFIT Digital Surgery, and I wanna share about our purpose first. I wanna share our purpose, and then I can go into the details of how I got into this space. And so basically, we improve surgical outcomes. We're in the business of improving surgical outcomes. We don't sell hardware. We're not a medical hardware company. We improve outcomes by digitizing the workflow. And this means we've created a very simple way to integrate 3D planning, 3D printing, and custom-made implants. And like any story, the first thing everybody asks me is like, how did you get into this space? And I've been around the medical 3D printing space and patient-specific solution space for well over a decade now. And the reason is my background is actually in race car engineering. So I used to be an aerodynamicist at a Formula 3 team in the UK. I was working aerodynamics, and a family friend who had just invested in a medical device company that makes orthopedic implants called me in, showed me around the factory, and then convinced me to pivot my career plan from motorsports to medical manufacturing. And he's actually my co-founder at TECHFIT Digital Surgery now. So it's gone, I would say, well. And the first thing that happened to me when I showed up into a surgery was that I had a culture shock. And the reason was, in the motorsport space, you know, when you have a concept for a new rear wing, let's say, or a new front wing, or you want to improve the car, the first thing you do is create a virtual model of it and test it in CFD. And you get about 100 concepts that are tested in CFD. Out of those 100 concepts, I would say about half of them are basically worthless. They don't work. You learn what doesn't work, but you'll find out you'll find out soon enough on CFD. And the expenditure at this point is very small. You then take it to the wind tunnel, and about half of those ideas will again you'll create a virtual model of the car. You'll take it to the wind tunnel, and then when you finally get to the track, we're talking that about 10 of the 100 ideas, so 90% of your ideas were discarded because they didn't work, and only the really good things that we know work get in the car. When I went into my first surgery, it was a culture shock because I found this. This is an orthopedic rep. This is the average implants that they bring into a joint replacement surgery. They have many different implants, and basically the doctors are doing a very good job using heuristics and planning to find the best course of action in the OR. But I mean, knowing that we could do better, I felt like we were doing patients a disservice by not using technology for that, and that has been my driving force behind everything we do at TECHFIT. And I found some early adopters that were willing to develop this along the way. We started as a custom implant division in the company, the orthopedic company that I was running R&D for, which is called San Pedro in Colombia. And in 2018, we decided, you know what, we can take this one step further. We understand the limitations, and that's when TECHFIT was born. So basically, what is the problem? Okay, we know that 3D planning and 3D printing can improve outcomes. I mean, there's more than enough literature out there to prove this. But there's 4 big issues that we find. Number one is surgeons are busy. So a surgeon, and I see that there are some surgeons in the audience. A surgeon their time is spent treating patients either in consult or in surgery. They don't have a lot of time to sit down for a 45-minute planning session with an engineer. This actually hampers their workflow. We need to make case planning more easier and more accessible. Number 2, it's expensive. So if you're buying custom devices from a company, from a vendor, this is expensive technology. It takes talent. There's regulatory hurdles. It's expensive technology. And if you want to set up your own 3D printing facility, I mean, you're going to need to buy expensive software. You're going to need to buy hardware, which is getting more affordable, but it's still not hobby level 3D printing pricing. And then you're going to have the talent to run it and set up a QMS and set up the process validation, and that's gonna be complicated. Communication is also difficult. So planning a surgery over Zoom, I feel like it's the best compromise we've got so far, but I think nothing compares to having a model of the anatomy in your hands. And then the last one is there's many moving parts. So if you want to set up a 3D printing facility, you need to learn, there's CapEx, you have to buy hardware, you have to buy devices, you have to buy software, you have to integrate all of that. And there's a steep learning curve to setting it up, and regulation is coming to make that learning curve even steeper. So we thought we could flip everything around, and we created what we call the Disrupt ecosystem. Disrupt stands for Digitally Integrated Surgical Reconstruction Platform. And our Disrupt platform has three main pillars. Number 1 is a cloud-based surgical planning tool. Number 2 is a 3D printing in the point of care as a service. We basically rent, we lease a Formlabs 3D printer to the hospital or to the practice. We handle maintenance, we handle restocking, we handle process validation, and we ensure that everything is kept to a we ensure that everything is kept to a medical standard. And number 3 is in the few cases where they are needed, and I will show some cases at the end where I can show that the digital workflow is usable with standard implants 99% of the time. We also create implantable patient-specific devices that make the surgery, that put the final icing on the cake. So the first step is digital planning. It's a very simple process, which I'll show you in a video. Basically, it's a web platform, so you don't have to download anything. You create a new case, you fill in some information about the case, you upload the files, and we'll segment it and create a 3D version of the patient that you can interact with on your software. You can design implants, verify implant design, select landmarks, annotate. So we have a surgical planner team that's very talented, understands these cases very well, and is working with you behind the scenes full time, and they can interact with you through the 3D chat, or you can at any time just schedule a meeting and have a face-to-face to solve some issues. But it's a 3D interactive platform. One of the cool things about it is because it's cloud-based, we can create, there's a social aspect to it. So we can have a surgeon who's a mentor in the US mentoring a patient, mentoring a surgeon in Georgia, in Eastern Europe, and interacting virtually through the Disrupt platform. Number two is point of care 3D printing. So basically we'll set up for a monthly fee, which is not high at all. We'll set up a Formlabs ecosystem in your hospital or practice. We'll take care of maintenance. We'll take care of material replenishment, and you can use this for what? Especially right now, our initial focus has been oral and maxillofacial surgery practices. And basically, you can so if you have an intraoral scanner, you can print dental models. For practices, dental models are a big hurdle. Dental models, when you take them from the patient, if you don't process them into the cast fast enough, you'll lose geometrical accuracy. If a model falls and breaks or chips during processing, that patient's information is not there anymore. So you'll have to bring the patient in and repeat the models. If you print them from a dental scanner, you can print them. They'll take a beating, and if not, you can always print them again. We can have same-day orthognathic splints. So you finish the surgical planning session, you hit OK, and the splints for that surgery are created within the same day. We can create anatomical models from a CV or CBCT. So basically any anatomical model you want. You can create surgical guides and surgical templates, and this is the focus of what I want to talk to you about with BioMed Durable. But then there's any ideas you might have. We can consider ourselves your innovation partners.
Thank you for tuning in to this webinar preview from Formlabs. To view the content in full, please click on the link below. Alternatively, if you'd like to get more information on our products and services, then please visit our website.